When you please send that ID card to me. South Africa, London to Guyana. The world is against law. We under attack. La 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 la.
Sorry, please, your mail.
No, my mail. Send it to WhatsApp now.
No,
Okay.
your number.
My neighbor.
Yes, that was your mail.
New Orleans to Queens. Okay. Good morning, everyone. I'm sorry. Let me apologize for yesterday's class. I was having issues. I'm getting my mic up, but we are good today. So, like I said, we will have to probably reschedule or add a few hours to one of our classes so that we can cover up for lost time. So today we are going to look at some of we're going to look at some we're going to look at how to create sorry, I'm coming. Give me a minute. So we're going to look at how to create some models using a data set. Because of time, I can't really go into breaking down some of these little this thing in Python, but I believe that we will, with time, we will grasp most of the codes. So I want to, first of all, I'm looking at this site, right? I'm coming, whereby we can get our data set that we're going to work with. So this site is called Zindi.Africa. Zindi.Africa. As you can see, there are different types of machine learning or data science challenges that you can work with here. And if you look at this, they can pay you as well. They pay you if you get what they want. So what I want to look at, I'm coming. I'm looking for a perfect data set that we can use. As you can see here, you can actually have courses on artificial intelligence if you need to, right? So we're going to use Jupyter Notebook. So what I'll do, I'll create a folder here, right? And I'll call it AI class, and I'll open it, right? Then I'll now create a new notebook, right? I'll open it. I believe you can see my screen, right? So if you look at this, we now have a new notebook here whereby we can start typing our code. So let's go back to, in our last class, we're talking about, we're talking about list and for loops, right? List and for loops. Right, that's what we're talking about, list and for loops. And I said we declare a list, right, using square brackets. In So we declare a list using square brackets. Now this is an empty list. So if I say type a list, it tells me that it is a list. So the type method allows us to determine whether this is a list or what. I can put content in this list using the square bracket. I could put contents in it, right? I can run it. Then I can now print it. So it gives me the content that is in the list. So I can have another list. Sorry, I'm just doing a recap from what we did the last time. I can have I can have various data types, right? This is what a string, right? I can have numbers, right? I can have a word like this. Then when I print it, oh sorry, all right. Okay, I didn't close this. So when I print my list, it actually gives me that. So I believe we've talked about list, right? So let's look at this is what I wanted to talk about in our last class, indexing and slicing, right? Indexing and slicing. I beg you, put downstairs. Ask of setting. Tell him to give me a flash. Let him give me a flash. So I can have this, my list, like this, is equal to a right? So if I print my list, so that's the output, right? So what indexing does is, what indexing does, so please, this hash symbol allows us to make a comment, right? What indexing does, it can help me to select a specific item from this list, right? So if I say my list, I put it through a square bracket like this and I run it. So it tells me that what? This is D, right? If I say my list and I put it through this, put 0 there, and I run it, it tells me that it's A. So the way indexing works is that the first item or the first item in the list has index 0, second is 1, third is 2, and then the fourth is 3, depending on how many items you have in the list.
Your screen is not showing.
It's not showing.
Yes.
Come first.
You're only seeing your.
Okay, so this is what we did last week. We started this last week. So we are going to see. So like I said, a list is declared like this, right? A list. This is the name of the variable, a list. Then it is the items are going to be put in square brackets, right? Which I did here. Then, if you want to know whether this is a list, if you type the method type, then pass a list in parentheses. Pass a list in parentheses. It will tell you that this is a list, right? Ask Mr. Ode. Yeah, for Flash. So a list now, I now put these numbers 1, 2, 2, 3, right? Once I run it, it gives me this 1, 2, 2, 3. Now, what I said is that a list can you not see me? What's happening here? Is it showing? Is it showing now?
No. Okay.
It's showing.
It's showing now.
Well, good number. Okay, sorry about that. I believe my screen is up now. So I'll have to do this again. All right. So first of all, this is how we declare a list. You give the list a variable name, which I call here a list. And this is going to give us an empty list, right? So let me run this for you. I'm coming, Kernel. Let me restart and clear outputs. Okay, so this is it, right? A list in an empty cell, right? When I run it, let me add another cell down. Once I print a list, can you see it prints an empty list for me? If I should run this through type a list, it tells me that this is a list. So what the type method does, it tells you the type of data type you are working with, right? You understand? So now I'm not going to impute values into the list. I'm not going to impute values into the list. So a list, I now put values 1, 2, 2, 3, right? 1, 2, 2, 3. Then when I print a list, can you see it gives me the output 1, 2, 2, 3. All right, you can see my screen now, right? Sorry about that issue, right? We now have 1, 2, 2, 3. Now, what you have to know is that a list now can take any data type. It can take strings, right? It can take strings, it can take numbers, and it can also take another list. Like, look at this list here. I have a string here. Mind you, we did string earlier, and I think in basic programming, we all know strings are declared using quotation mark, whether single or double, right? So we have a string here, A, another string here, B. We have a numerical data type here, 2, 3, and then we have another string here, cherry. So once I run it, it will compile that for me. Then when I now print it, right, it will now give me the output of the string. Let me also do one more thing. Let's call this any list. Any list, right? So I can now put numbers. Let me put 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Then let me put I hope that's better. I believe you can see my screen now. I just zoomed in. Sorry about that. Okay. So now I want to show you that a list can take any data type. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I can put something like this. Mango. Right? I can put something like this. Cherry. I can put something like this. Apple. You understand? Now, I can also put another list inside this list, right? I can now say maybe Buhari, Obasanjo, right? Yar Adua, then I can put maybe Jonathan. Let's put our democratically elected president, right? Then I can now close it. Can you see what this list here is doing? I have a list, right, that contains data types 1, 2, 3, 4, mango, cherry, and apple. Then it also contains another list that has Buhari, Obasanjo, Yaradua, and Jonathan, right? So let me print this list. Okay, let me run it, right? And I put a new cell. Then let me print. Sorry, you can also use the print statement too. Don't mind me, I'm just.
How are you? What is it?
Do you have a list? Do you have a flash, sir?
That flash, that your flash will dash me.
No, well,
Okay, that one.
I just want to copy something.
The thing don't fly, go.
I want to copy something.
I come the labor one. You come go on to registrar.
Okay,
So
so
the thing can disappear.
so what we're doing here, when I print any list, right? Can you see what the output is? So it actually gives me that you can actually print a list inside another list. So that's basically one of the beautiful things a list can do, right? One of the beautiful things we can do with a list. So I was talking about indexing and slicing a list, right? So what I said was that this is a list, A, B, C, D, right? Or let me copy the items in this list. Let me copy the items in this list since there are more. It will be here. Let me copy the items in this list since there are more, right? So this is what I have in this list. So see how it prints. All right. So we have this, right? Now, I want to get a specific item from this list. I don't want the whole list. I want a specific item on this list. Do you understand? So what do I do? Like I said, if you're indexing, right, the first item has the index 0. The first item has the index 0, right? So now, what I'm going to say is that this number 1, if I should say my list in my list, then I pass 0 into this square bracket and I run it, it will give me 1. Are you with me? But if I say my list 1, right? My list 1, who can tell me what to give me in the comment section? What can it give me? If you know, you just type it in the comment section. If I say my list 1, what item will it give me? Anybody? Okay, well, while we're waiting for, yeah, it will give me two. Thank you, Abdul Basit. So it will give me two, right? So I think you understand. Like I said, if you're indexing, the first item has the index 0, right? The second item will not have the index 1. So in indexing, it becomes the total number of items in that list minus 1. That is how you index. Are you with me? Total number in that list minus 1. So if you count, how many items do we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8. This whole list now is 8, is one item. Are you with me? This whole list is one item. So you cannot say because I'll now start counting 8, 9, 10. No, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, then 8. So if I say, so that means there are 8 items here. So that means the indexing, right, will start from 0 to 7. If I say index 8, I will get an error. Can you see? It gives me an error because what? The indexing is not correct. In the index error, list index out of range. But now, if I should say index 7, can you see? It gives me that list, which is Buhari, Obasanjo, Yar'Adua, and Jonathan. Do you understand? I believe that is clear. If there's any question, please let's ask before I proceed. All right, all right. A lot of you got it. So the answer is 2. So that is how we index in Python, right? That's how we index. So to get the length of a list, right? There is a method we use. We can say len, right? Then pass this through len my list. When I do this, so can you see? It tells me that my list is 8. So instead of me counting, I can actually automatically know that my list is 8. I hope that's clear about indexing because I want to move to slicing. I don't really want us to dwell on this. If there's any question on indexing, please let's ask before I proceed. Okay, so if there's no question, um, let's go to slicing, right? Let's quickly go to slicing before we can before we proceed. Let's go to slicing. So, like I said, if you want to make a comment, you use the hash sign, right? Let's look at slicing. Slicing. So slicing is kind of similar to indexing, right? But slicing, what slicing does is that it takes a portion of the list. All right. It takes a portion of the list. So take for instance my list, right? My list. I want to slice my list. Okay, let me print my list first. I don't like the way it's popping like this. Let me pass it through my print statement. Right? I pass it through my print statement. So now, we said, we have how many items here? Let's run it again. Learn my lists. We have 8 items, right? So now I want to slice. What slicing means, I want to get a portion of this list. Let us say I want to get from 4. I want to get from 4 to the end. So this is what I'm going to do here. I'll say my list, right? So 4 now. 4 has an index of what? 4 will have an index of 3, right? I'll say 3, right? Put semicolon, 3, semicolon, 8. Can you see what happens? So it cuts from 4 to the end, right? It cuts from 4 to the end. Now, I believe you might want to ask, why am I using 8 here, right? Because the answer is simple. We have 8 items here, right? Then in our indexing stops at 7. If I should slice from, let's say, 3, if I should slice from 3 to 7, it will not capture the last item which I want. Rather, it will stop at apple. Do you understand? So can you see? So the way it works is more like start, step, and then stop. You understand? This how slicing works. Let me use this. Let me use the markdown. This is how slicing works. If I say my list, or let's use a list. If I use a list like this is how it works. We have the start, which is the starting point. We have the step, right? Then we now have okay, let's say step number, right? Then we now have stop. Understand? Let me use raw. Okay, this is better. So we have the start, we have the step, and then we have the stop, right? So that's how you declare in slicing. What that simply means is this: start is the starting index, right? Now your starting index starts from the point you want it to start from, so it will capture that number. Then your stopping point now will not capture the stopping entity there. I don't know if I'm making sense, right? The start will capture the number or the item you want to start slicing from. But the stop, right, should always go ahead. So if you want to capture a specific item in the stop, you should always go ahead a step further to get the specific one that you want to get. I hope it's making sense. Let's try something. So I've brought in something here. Let's still look at my list. I think that's the name of the list we're working with, right? This is my list. I'm always forgetting. I don't like the way this thing. That's why I always run it through the print. Right? Now let's look at this. I brought a concept of start, step, and stop. why step? Let's see how the step works here. I can say my list is equal to, I want to start at where? Let me start at index 1. Are you with me? I'll start at index 1. Then I want to move two steps, right? Then I now want to stop at the last item. So I'll say that is 8, right? So let's run this and see what happened. Where is the mistake here? Okay, I think I know the mistake. What's the problem? We have 1. So give me a minute. Okay, I don't know why I'm getting an error, but this should actually work. 1 to 8. Now I see there is a problem here because even slicing the list is telling me error. Oh, okay. I think I know what the problem is. Let's try this again. Oh, sorry, I'm not supposed to put equal sign. I'm not supposed to put equal sign. That's where the mistake came from. Sorry about that. My bad. Yeah, start, stop, step. No, it's start, step, and then stop. It's not start, stop, step, ma. Now let us see this. Start, step, start, stop, step. Okay, yeah, I think, okay, let's try that. Let's try that. Probably. I think that's where my mistake is coming from. Oh, yeah, you're correct. Thank you. Um, Tiju Sunumi Rachel, I know. Sorry if I messed your name up. Thank you for that correction. So this is actually how it's going to look, right? Start, stop, and step. Let me correct this. Start, stop, and step. Start, stop, and step. So if you look at this, what this happened is that we're starting at what? Index 1, right? And it's telling us to move 2 steps, right? So if you look at this, after 2, it will count 1, 2. It will not print the second item that is there. That's why it's moving 2 steps, right? So 1, 8, and what? 2. So start, stop, step. So pardon my mistake the other time. Start, stop, and what? Step. So we have 1, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, 4, right? Then 1, 2, cherry. Then 1, 2 to now print this whole list. I believe that's okay. That's how we slice. That's how we slice That's how we slice in a in a using a list. So please, is there any question? Because I think I'm done with slicing. Sorry, I'm going to be very fast because of time. So I'll drop these notes. I believe everybody has downloaded Jupyter Notebook because that's what we're using for now. If there's no question, please let's proceed. Please take note. The method is start, stop, and then step. Start, stop, and then step. So let's go. If there is no question, let us go down to some useful methods, some useful list methods. Useful list methods. So let's have a list. Let me call it the list. And let this list have things like this. So let this list have items like this, right? So let me print it out. So let me print it out. So the first method we're going to look at is the append method. Append method. So what this does, it adds an item at the end of a list. Right? So the append method adds an item at the end of a list. So let's look at an example now. I have this list which contains Abuja, Lagos, 4, 5, and 9. Let us say I want to add maybe the word, or I want to add the state Taraba to this list. So what I will do, I'll just say the list, right? The list dot append. Are you with me? I'll pass it through parentheses, and I'll now type what I want to type. Taraba. Taraba. Right? Then I'll now run this. So now, once I come here and I now print the lists, can you see what happens here? I have put Taraba at the end of the list. Taraba now appears at the end of the list. I can add more items if I want. I can add more items if I want. So I can see the list dot append. So I can put 4. Let's try another one. Okay, I have 4 there again, right? Okay, let's put 17. Let's see if we can do more. Then maybe Plateau. Okay, so you see, I know why I did this, right? They say it takes only one argument. It takes only one argument. So this cannot take more than one argument. So I did that on purpose so that you will see why that cannot happen. So now, if I should print the list, it now gives me what? 17 at the end of that list. I hope that is clear. Right, so I'm moving to the next method. And my next method is, okay, let's try something. Let's try something. Let's try the list append, a list dot append So you see, this one works. What I'm doing now is that I'm trying to add a list to the end of that list. So if I now type the list, so can you see that actually works perfectly? That actually works perfectly. My next method, is what they call the pop method. Pop. What they call the pop method. So what this one does is more like the reverse of what append does. So this one removes an item.
Cash.
What's it?
No, I have cash. And I wrote it in my account instead.
Okay, so like I should send how much?
So what that does is very simple. I'll say the list
For transport.
Then
dot pop.
You need it.
I need it.
You will need it.
I will need it.
The list, please, you guys should tone down your voice. But I say the list dot pop, right? The list dot pop, and I run this. So what it does now is that it now removes. It removes. Can you see what it prints out here? It prints out the last item I put here. So now, if I now come and type the list, you see automatically it has deleted that last item from my list. Did that last item from my list. Do you understand? Deleted the last item from my list. So we have looked at the append, we have looked at the pop. So we can also, apart from that, we can also remove the first item. Let's see something here. The list dot pop. So we're going to use the index, right? So can you see the list dot pop? So if you put the index of this thing, let's try and print the list. Can you see what happens? So what I'm trying to show you here now is that if you don't understand append, okay, let me go back to append. I said append. What append does? If you look at what I put here, I said append adds an item at the end of a list. Adds an item at the end of a list. What append? You cannot use append to add an item at any location. I don't know if I'm making sense. You cannot use the append method to add an item at any location. It always comes in at the end. It always comes in at the end, like what we have done thus far. Right? Let me let me still come here. I'll create a list. Let me call this list let's say food items. Let's call it food items. Food items, right? Equal to. So I will now have what now? Let's say rice. I will have beans. I can have Gary. Let's say you're creating a list of things you want to go and buy at the market. I can have tomato. So let's stop here. So let me run this, right? I hope you're following. So once I run this, then let me print out the food items list for us to see. Food items. Can you see? It prints rice, beans, gari, and tomato. But you know that if you want to, let's say you want to cook now, and you now say that, oh, I want to cook rice and stew, since you have rice here and you have tomato. But if you look at this list, if you want to make stew here, sometimes you will need meat or maybe fish, and you need maybe some form of spices, and then what else? So now you want to bring in these food items here now, so that you will not forget. What you now do now, we can now use the append method, right? We can now use the append method here. I'll now say food item. Look at what I'm writing here. Food items. So look at what I'm typing. I'll say food items dot append, right? Open the bracket. I want to buy meat, right? Since it's a string, I'll put it in a quotation mark, and I'll now put meat. Is that okay? Then I'll now close it. When I now run this, right? When I now run this and I print it, food underscore items. Can you see what happens now? If you compare this list now, right, and the last list that we first created, can you see the difference? This one here doesn't have meat, right? But this one here now has meat. And where does the meat come from? It comes at the end. That's why I said the append method adds um, adds an item at the end of the list. I hope that is clear, Mr. Anas. Do you understand what append does? It adds an item at the end of the list. So if that is not all you want to add, sorry, if that's not all you want to add, let's say you want to add spices, you're going to say food underscore items dot append, right? Then, like I said, since it's a string, you now say spices, right? Then you can run this, then we can print it. Food underscore items. So you can see now, right? We have spices added at the end. All right, thank you, Mr. Anas. So we've talked about the pop method, right? The pop method. I said the pop method. If you just use the pop method without indicating the index, it takes out the item from the end, right? But if you specify where you want it to come out from, right? So let me say the underscore lists, right? Dot pop. And I now say 3. And I run this. So it's going to take out the third item here using the index. Like I told you, the index, you start from 0, 1, 2, 3. So if you're to count, Lagos here is 0, 4 is 1, 5 is 2, 9 is 3. So it's going to pop out 3. It's going to delete 3 for us. So when I now come and run the list, if I run the list, can you see we're not going to have 9 here again? I believe the pop method too is also clear. Pop method is also clear. All right, so let me proceed. The next method I'm going to look at is the reverse method. Reverse method. What this does is that it doesn't actually return anything. This method doesn't return. That means it doesn't print anything for us, right? Comma, but it performs the action in place right? So let's look at let's look at what this means. So we have this list. If I say the list dot reverse, right? What I said that it doesn't really return anything, right? It will just perform the action in place. I mean, it will perform it. So now, if I want to see the output of what this does, I'll say the list. Who can notice what happened here? Can you see what happened there? Who can tell me what happened there? Nello. What is no? You just type NO. What is NO? What are you knowing about? Nello Ugu. So, like I said, please look at the screen. Look at your screen, right? Look at what the reverse method does. It did something here. Who can tell me what the reverse method did? You can type it. What the reverse method just do for us? I mean, very clearly. I mean, we can all see it. It reversed the previous work. Yes, Mr. Anas, it actually did. So just like the name implies, it reversed the previous work. Let's just take a look at it. If you look at the initial list was Lagos, 4, 5, Taraba, and then 17. When I now reversed it, I now got 17 as my first item, Taraba, 5, 4, and Lagos. If we want to be sure that this actually work, let's try running it in the index. The index 0. So can you see it actually reversed the whole sequence of this list? I believe that is clear enough, right? We can also use the reverse method with the sort method, right? You must not really type the reverse method if you want. So this what I'm trying to say is this: we can say the list dot sort. There's a method called dot sort, right? But it always works with the reverse method, right? Reverse equal to false. Equal to false. So what this means that you say you want to sort the list, right? Okay, not supported for instances of string or an integer between strings. So let us try something. The issue here is that because we have strings and integer mixed in the list. So let us try integers and see. Let me see int underscore list. So what I want to do here, I'll just have numbers, right? And I'll now try and dot sort, right? Reverse is equal to false. So can you see it actually is going to work? So if I say int underscore lists, so because I said reverse is equal to false, can you see it didn't reverse it for me? Don't worry, I'll send all my lecture notes. I'll send everything. I'll upload them on Google Classroom and I'll send the link. So you will get everything that you need to get, Mr. Anas. So when we do this, this is what we're going to get. But let us try something now. Let me just copy this, right? Control C, Control V. Then let us turn here to true, right? Then let me print it, int underscore list. Can you see what happens here? So instead of using the reverse alone, you can use the sort and reverse. So what it will do is that it will sort it for you and it will reverse it if you want it to be reversed. Yes, I don't know. Our first class, you have to install Python. We did it in our first class. I don't know. The video is on YouTube, so you can go back and check how to install it. So you install Python, you install Anaconda, right? Python is your is what you're going to use to. First of all, let me just digress a little. If you want to be sure you have Python on your computer, when you go to your okay, sorry, let me go back here. You can type here command on your search this thing command. So to prompt out command prompt, open command prompt, right? Then if you want to know whether you have Python installed, just type Python, then hit enter. So like now, because I have Python installed, it tells me I have what? Python 3.13.1. If you don't have it, it will tell you that you don't have it installed. So you can go to command prompt, then type in Python. If you don't have it, yes, it's a reverse, but it's now in ascending order, right? It's now in ascending order. So if you want to get it back in the other way, all you have to do is just say int underscore list dot reverse. So if I say int underscore list, so it has reversed it back for me. You understand? So let's look at the sort method as well, because we look. This is actually looking at the sort method. Let's look at the sort method, right? From here, we're looking at the sort method. Let me just state it. From here, this is the sort method. Just as the name implies, it sorts. This is the sort method, so it sorts out the lists. But it doesn't work with doesn't really work with strings. Doesn't really work with strings. So let us have a list here. Sort list is equal to, and I'll just put random numbers 2, 3, 6, 1, 9, 8, 19, 4, right? Okay, let us say 19, 4, right? So so I can now say sort list is equal to, I want to sort it out. Sorry, sort list dot sort. Are you with me? Sort list dot sort. Let us see what this will give us. So let me print sort list. Can you see what happens here? Okay, what slice? The difference between slice and sort. This is actually, well, from when you run the program, you can see it. If I want to slice a list, right? If I want to slice a list, let us say sort list. Sort list. I'm going to use an example to answer this question. Sort list. I do this 3 column, maybe 5, like this. This is what they call slicing. Slicing will pick a portion. Slicing will pick a portion of the list, depending on what I want. So what I told the list here to do is that what I told this command here in this is slicing. What I did here is slicing. I just sliced this list. You understand? I just sliced this list. By what? I said I want to pick the item from index 3 to what? Index 5. But just like I said, once there is what they call start, stop, and step. Right? Start, stop, and step. Here I didn't put the step, it's not needed because if I don't put the step, that means it's going to take the step one at a time. But if I wanted to move steps more than one, I will have to put the step. What that means is this: if I come and put maybe 2 here and I run it, can you see? So after 4, right? After 4, this is supposed to work now. This is supposed to work. 3, 5, 1, 2. Supposed to print 9 now. Okay. I think it's because of the stop, right? This is 5, 6. So if I say 3, 7, and 2, can you see what happens here? Right? So this is start, stop, and step. So what that means is this: I'm starting at index 3. I told you something. When you're indexing, your index starts counting from 0. So 1 is index 0. 2 is index 1. 3 is index 2. 4 is index 3. 6 is index 4, right? So when I say start at 3, it will start at index 3, which is 4. Stop at 7, right? Here, how many items do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, why I'm stopping at 7 is because I want it to count past the list on these items, right? If I say stop at 6, it will only stop at 19 and it won't count further. But I want to get the whole list for you to work with. That's why I'm actually giving it more than that. Now, what sort does is that just like when they say sort, for example, now you have a basket full of green and red balls. They now ask you to sort this basket according to the colors. What you will do is that you're going to sort red balls to red balls, green balls to what? Green balls. So that's basically how I can explain sort and slice for you. I believe that's okay, right? Okay, you said you understood. So where were we before we? So now sort. We now sorted this sorted list. So what the sorted list does, I'm at line 65 here, right? I didn't explain this. If you look at this, when I initially oh, okay, I think I see where my mistake came from. Let's do this. Let me break it down. Control X, right? So now let me print sorted list. Okay, I think I know where I've already printed this one. That's why it's not going to print. I've already printed here. That's why it's not going to print. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? What do we do? Okay, well, let me just explain this. If I had printed this list earlier on, this is what I would have gotten: 2, 3, 6, 1, 9, 19, and 4, right? But after sorting the list, right, using this method, after sorting the list using this method, right, and I now print it, what it does now, it now sorted this list accordingly from what? Lowest to what? Highest. That's what it did. So unlike here, it is scattered here. When I now sort it, it now arranges the list. Sort is more like arrangement, right? You will say sort something, I'm telling you to what? To arrange it. So after sorting that, I can also reverse my sort. Sort underscore list, right? Dot sort, open bracket, reverse is equal to true. Reverse is equal to true. So when I now print sorted list, you see that it will reverse this for me. I mean sort list, sort underscore list. So can you see it now reverses the initial list which I have sorted for me. Is that okay? All right. So the next we are going to do, we are going to look at how to insert an item, in a list. How to insert an item in a list. How to insert an item in a list. So this one inserts an item in a list. Insert an item in a list. So what do we do when we want to insert an item in a list? Let's declare a list. Let me call this some lists. Sorry, I'm using plenty names here, but since it's recorded, we can always get. Let us say some list. In this list now, I have 2, 3, 5, monkey, lion. Right? This is what I have in my list. So let us say now I want to insert maybe the number 7. I'll just say some underscore list 7. So you see, this cannot work. Because this is not callable. So now what is actually thinks I want to call a number here, 7. That's why it's telling me it's not callable. So what do we do instead? What we do if we want to insert, right? We have to insert at an index. What that means is this. So how many items we have there? 0, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? We have 5 items here. So my index are 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, right? Let us say, and I want to add at the end, that's at index 5, right? I will say 5, 7. Let me see. This will not work. Okay, 5, let me add another list here. 1, 2, right? Oh, sorry, my mistake. I was doing the wrong thing. It's supposed to be some list dot insert, right? Then let us try this. Okay, this will not work. So we'll call the index 5, 7. This should work now. So this works, right? So because I want to insert the number 7 at index 5, I want to insert the number 7 at index 5. So I'll say some list dot insert. I will first of all put the index I want to insert that item. Then I'll now put the item I want to insert. So let us print this and see. Some underscore lists. So can you see? This is what happens here. 2, 3, 5, monkey, lion, and what? 7. I can also insert at any other index. It must not always be at the end. Dot insert, right? So I can now say maybe let me insert at index 2, right? And I want to put giraffe. Giraffe is a double F. Giraffe, right? Let's say this is the spelling of giraffe. Then when I now print some list, you see what happens here? Initially, 5 was the one at index 2. But because I have inserted giraffe at index 2, 5 has gone to index 3. Okay, the square bracket is used to declare a list. That's number 1, right? The square bracket can also be used to call out indexes and to slice list or string. You know, you can actually call out indexes of a string. But when you're now using the parentheses, you are actually trying to either run an output. Mostly, you're trying to like pass something inside it. I don't know if I've done justice to it. But the square brackets, basically, square brackets are used for lists, and maybe you want to index or slice. Parentheses can be used to call, or can be used to pass out. How will I put it now? Like if you want to print now, you use the square bracket. If you want to get the type, so you can use it to pass out different methods. Aside from that, the normal brackets are used for tuples. That's what they call tuples. Now, it's another data type in Python. They are called tuples. So the square brackets and normal parentheses are used for various things. It just depends on how you're declaring it. We'll see all that method, at least if we have time to go through all that. So far so good. I believe we kind of understand what this thing does. So far so good. We have explained some of these methods and all that. Let me quickly do something. Let me show you how index works. So if I now have the index here, and I have the index here. So this is index 0, right? This is index 1, index 2, index 3, index 2, index 3, index 4, and so on. Right? And so on. If you have more, what do you call it? If you have more items in your list. All right. We've talked about nested loops now. Let me just quickly give a breakdown of nested loops. Let's look at nested loops, right? I've shown you an example of a nested loop. So let us say nest underscore loop, right? So what a nested loop can do is this: 1, 2, 3, right? Comma, another list, 2, 3, 4. This is an example of a nested loop. So if I now print it, print nest underscore loop. You understand? So that's how it will actually print out for us. So that's how this thing actually works.
How do we do it?
So we now have nest loop and all that. So this is how basically I showed you how a nested loop is, right? How a nested loop is, and whatever you can do with a loop, with a normal list, you can actually do it with a nested loop, because it's actually I call it nested loop. Sorry, it's nested list too. Nested lists. Nested lists. Let me turn this to nested lists. Nest lists. So print nest lists. Incomplete input. Nest list, right? So it tells me that there are 4 items. Which really there are 4. And I explained something to you. I said if you're counting the items in the list, 1, 2, 3, and you have netted list, the netted list is taken as one list. One list, please. So let's not say that because it's another list, I'll now say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, the whole list is taken as what? One list. So we can have a list like this, the underscore new list, like this, right? I can have like this. So in this list now, I can have items like this, boy, comma. I can have money, comma. I can have 5, right, comma. I can have another list, which is what? Orange, comma. I can have girl, right, comma. I can have maybe 7, right, comma. Then I can also have another list inside the other list. You understand? And I'll now say this one can be AI. Okay, let's say alert, comma, 3, comma, and then maybe 9. So you see, I have a list like this. So let me print it. So looking at this, who can tell me what's the length of this list? What is the length of this list? Anybody? What is the length of this list? 5. Okay, let us check it out. So let us do this. Learn a new list. It's actually 4. It's not 5. You see, I told you something. Don't. I know what you did here. We have 1, 2, 3. Then you now say this as 4. You now carry this one as 5. No, it has only 4 items. Because now, if you look at this second list, is inside. Okay, this third list rather is inside the second list. The main list is the first list. This big list is the first list. This is the second list that has orange girl 7 and this other list. Then the last list has alert 3 and 9. So the items now, if you're counting the items, we're counting the items in the bigger list only. So look at it, boy, money 5, and the whole of this list are all in the bigger list. That is why it has 4. I don't know if you get. So 4, Chima Caleb, you're very correct, is 4. So for you to, once you have this 2, you don't have to start counting. Just say learn of what? The new list. So once you do that, you are good to go, right? We can also index nested list. We can index nested list. How do we do this? I can say the new list index 3. Can you see? That's why I told you the whole of it brings out the whole of this list as one item. Can you start to show you that it is one item? The new list 3. So it brings out orange girl 7 and this other list as what? One item. Is that okay? So you that as one item. So another way that we can do, let's for example now, I want to get this other list. I want to get the index of this other list. Are you with me? I want to get the index of this list that has alert 3 and 9. See what I'm going to do here? I'll say the underscore new lists, right? So what is the index of this second list? We said it's 3, right? I'll put 3 there. Are you with me? Then I'll now count inside this list. I have indexes too: 0, 1, 2, 3. This one too is also 3, right? So when I print it, Can you see what happens there? It now micro zooms it or micro zone it to what? The smaller list. I hope this is not confusing. I wanted to just get only this item here, just this item. That's what I want, right? And since I have a bigger list, right, I now have another list inside the bigger list. Then I see and I have another list. We have three different lists. The first list has a list inside it. The second list has another list inside it. So I want to get the third list. I just want to get only the third list. So I can now use the index. Please pay attention. This indexing is quite it could be confusing when you're dealing with nested lists. This is my main list, right? This is my main list. So my main list is this. I have items, boy, money, 5, and then this list. That makes that my main list has how many items? 4 items. Are you with me? So now, if I want to get the index of just this list, just like I told you about indexes, I start counting 0, 1, 2, and the whole of this now becomes what? 3. So when I now say the new list 3, it will give me the whole of what? This list. Right? Now, I want to go further and get just this specific list. Just this specific list. How do I do it? I now have inside the big list, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, which has index 0, 1, 2, 3, right? Then inside this other list too, I have how many items? 1, 2, 3, 4, which have indexes 0, 1, 2, and 3. Mind you, I said I want to get just this one. So what do? I will first of all call the index of this second list, which is 3, right? Which I did here. Look at it here. Then inside this second list, I also have indexes 0, 1, 2, 3, which happens to be this list. I will now call it. So that's why I said the new list 3, 3, right? The new list 3, 3. Then it now gave me what? This. Now, what if I want to get 9? I just want to get this number 9. What do? Can someone tell me? I'll just type this thing. The new list is equal to what? So who can tell me how do I get this number 9? How do I get the number 9? Anybody? Anas, Chima, Elijah, who are those that are active in the class again? How do I get the 332? Okay, Anna said 332. Mind you, please, I don't like the bracket you're using. You're using normal parentheses. You're to use square brackets. I know you're just doing it for like maybe you're just answering the question, right? So I'm not supposed to put equal to, right? So you said 3, 3, 2, right? So let's run it and see. So that's actually correct. So 3, 3, 2. It now gives us what? It now picks out the number 9 from the whole of this. I believe we all know how we got that. If anybody doesn't know how we got it, please, you can ask questions. We will now revisit it again. But like I said, this is being recorded to be on YouTube, so you can always revert back to it. So we can also do something here. 332. That's better. We can also do something here. I can say the underscore new lists 3, right? I want to get something here. 3. I want to show you something. 3, 3, right? Then I can now slice if I want to 0 like this. Can you see what happens there? Now, you might be wondering why don't I put any number here, right? If I don't put any number here, it actually tells me that it's actually telling me take it to the end, right? Take it what? to the end. That's what it's doing here. So I said take from index 0 in the smaller string, 0 what, to the end. That's why it's printing the whole of this for me. So there are multiple ways you can actually do this, and you can work with it the best way you can. Is there any question? Questions, please. Let's pause for questions. 5 minutes for questions. Five minutes for questions. Odia Godwin, you just say 3-2. 3-2 will not cut. 3-2 is not correct. Oh. You have to put 3-3-2, like what I did here. What we did here, 3-3-2. You have to call the index of the first one in the first list, call the one in the second list, then call the one in the third list. That's how it works. If not, if you say 3-2, let me show you what 3-2 will do. See what it will do here. It will give us 7. 3-2. 3-2 will give us 7 instead of giving us the main. Not just Python, no. Not just Python. It's not just Python you're going to do. You're going to. Okay, you know what's going to happen. Let's just go back to installing Python. Is that what it's showing? Is it showing Python 13.1? Have you checked your command prompt? I will stop sharing this screen for a minute. Right? Let me stop sharing this screen for a minute. Then let me present okay, let me just share. I don't know if you'll be able to see my screen. Let me share my entire screen for now. Please let me know if you can see my screen. I don't know if you can see my screen. Let me know if you can see my screen.
No. He's talking of somebody's name screen. Where is
Let me know if you can see my screen.
It's not here. Okay. Is that not his laptop? Yes. Oh, you brought it. I think.
Sorry?
Where's Andrew?
He's not like he's.
Okay. Well, you brought his laptop and he's
Yeah, he came. And then he left.
Oh, he came and he left.
Oh, that's why I didn't want to do this. You can't still see my screen, right? I wonder what the problem is here. Sorry, please. Give me a minute. This happened the last time. I'm trying to sort it out. I don't know if. Yeah, I know. I'm trying to sort that out. I'm trying to sort that out. Wow. This actually gave us tough time the last time. We're now able to get it right. So please pardon me. I don't know why this is acting like this. Share screen. Screen sharing is easiest with two monitors. Uh-huh. Wow. Sorry. I don't know why my screen. I can't share my screen again
And you don't want to use another laptop.
to share. We want to use another laptop, like two laptops.
Huh?
Two laptops.
Oh, you need two laptops.
I don't need one laptop. I don't need two laptops to share.
No, sorry. What about this laptop? You don't want to use this laptop.
I started using this one to start migrating everything there. It
Oh.
take time. I'm sorry about this, but I don't know why my screen is not. It's not. And it's showing that my screen is being shared here. The prompt here is that my screen is being shared, but unfortunately, well, I can't. I can't seem to share my screen. I'm saying I'm trying to share my screen. But I'm coming. Let me. Sorry, give me a minute. Just you guys should wait a minute. August, I greet you. All right, please let me get someone that can troubleshoot this for us. Morning, sir.
You get everything that we have done, and if you have any question, you can talk to me on the platform. Oh, one of the classes you are the class rep. So absorb this. But I'm still around, Hamza.
When you guys are here. Good morning. Oh, look at me here. Thank you. I know you guys were here. I can't share my screen. Look at me here. I can't see my screen. I can't share it. Huh? Yes, sir. You say what?
You are magicians.
What do
You just appear. You are looking at it.
I was upstairs. I was doing something, that's why I didn't come down. One day, hold on. But how is the class? Hope you understand what we're doing.
Yes.
I have to break it down a little because for the next class I might go a little advanced. Understand? Because we have to start creating, at least let us create a model before we go. You understand? So I'm going to share that data set with, I'm going to share this class. I'm going to share this class by weekend. I'll share the link to these notes. I have the notes for all up to functions, right? So what I want us to do basically, I want us to go down to, we'll start training models like data sets from a table. You can train it and see the accuracy and the precision and all those F1 score. You understand? So I want us to go to that point whereby at least we can now start training models before. I don't think we'll be able to go into natural language processing here because you have to understand the basics. You understand? But when you're training a model, it's part of AI. But once you train a data set, right, and it does well, and you now put it on the system you're creating, it can automatically train other models for you. You understand? So what we're going to do, like when you're training a model, when you're training a data set, you divide it into two, like I said. You have your training set and your test set. The training set is what you're going to use to train. Once you train it, let's say you get an accuracy of 92%, which is quite fair, which is actually good. You can now test it, right? Now get the correct, what do they call it now? The correct data that you have now. Why am I saying this? I'll give you an example. I work with a data set for financial inclusion. The financial inclusion data set was to cover Kenya, Uganda,
with was, do they have bank accounts or not? And the answer was simply yes or no. Yeah, final classification. So we now have to convert those yes or no to what? Ones and zeros. So that we can be able to like train our set appropriately. That's what we now did. Because after training it, we now tested it. It actually worked. We got like 98% from after. There's people that their records don't even have anything. You have to take them out. Unfortunately, you have to trim it to the point. If you have 100,000, you can trim it to maybe 80 something thousand. Is what is actually accurate for you. That was the idea of this whole thing. I don't know if we cannot. If we cannot, it's showing now.
You know, this trying to connect to people online has been hindering. It's hindered us last
Yesterday. Okay, even yesterday.
Yesterday we didn't do anything.
Yesterday the issue. My audio. I wasn't using this computer, but the computer I'm using, I don't know. Everything is just dying. The Wi-Fi is not connecting. So I'm thinking of I might get a new one by weekend so that I don't need it. I don't need this kind of trouble. All right. Thank you. I don't think I will. Where is this? Sharing the entire screen, right? So it's better that way. And if you can just put it up, let's see. So let's see how we can finish this.
Okay, this is the fundamentals.
Yeah.
Okay.
Fundamental.
So where in training you say node. Where is the node? The end. Where are we end? What should be? What are we expected to hit our marks?
The end of the note.
Yes.
Like I said, we're supposed to be able to create models using some of these machine learning algorithms, right? I'm going to create, just like I told you, we're going to like train data sets. Understand? Normally, because of time, you understand? We don't have all the time. I think the next supposed to be done with this class. And truth be told, if I will share the whole notes I have here so that you can see that we cannot finish this thing in the time stipulated. That's what I'm saying. I will share the whole thing that you will see it, that you know that we cannot finish this thing in. So, like most times, it's just for you to, like, when I was actually thinking that initially, we started with practicals. I think we started practical right from time. Right now, we would have actually gone very far with the whole of this. I'm sorry, please. Can I just get something upstairs? I forgot.
Where are the works coming from? That's the same moment they are practicalizing that what they are talking about. There's already a data set how to generate your own data using Notepad. It's not to generate ask AI to generate a data set. You start like when I use notes, it's like your target, what you expected to achieve at the end of it. Give the parameter. When you don't set the parameter, there's a code already given to you. You start setting it. The one that is not people are adjusting to you achieve what you want. It's always which I want to be one. That's what I agree. So this is can you open my but I will still use this one. This is our practice. Yeah, I have. At the end, instead of us to also 1 month vacation. Here. 6 months. 12. Yeah, I'm
After that 6 months, the part of job placement. If you're one year program,
okay. Okay,
I'm the only one with a people.
no, that's starting time.
Oh, yeah, what should you do?
Let me tell you the truth. I never made a good decision. I was not aware. But going to this today, I was busy studying a project. And I got one assignment. Oh, sorry.
Was that like a cheat?
Remember that she I said, check whether they did that. So on 7th of November, I was doing the admission was
Told me that he couldn't feel so.
the place of December. December, like, he's not sure. Sorry. And now we have yeah, I've done the second one. The one.
How do I plug this? Sadiq, please help me.
I will use
Look at this. Hello?
I will show you.
Hello? Hello? Yeah. I'll be stepping out too. So I don't know, but if you come before no, I've not stepped out. If you come before I go, I'll call you. All right. Okay, so the next what we're going to look at next is loops. I think all this like you're doing elementary programming again. Loops. Yeah.
If you can just put it up, let's see.
Can we make this one?
So let's see how we can finish
Imagine we win $15,000.
I think that you don't rest more. Hello, everybody. Sorry, people online. I can't still share the screen.
Look at it again, did it come on?
Is it up to 5 minutes?
It should be. European. I spoke with Haruna. He said he was coming today. He said he was coming. James and Bill. Donald Trump said there are
Okay.
2 species of wolves. And then
The current network is poor. Okay. So we are back. I'll leave my screen.
I've just downloaded. I have too many things to do, brother. Want me to learn all this thing? Just carry $10,000 in my pockets. I'll go and learn. I will not be. Yes.
Okay. Okay, it's back. The network is kind of poor. Yeah. But I'm trying to. Okay, so we're at loops, right? I said the first one is while loop. While loop. So a while loop will repeatedly execute a single statement or group of statements as long as the condition being checked is true, right? Let's just run a simple code. When you have such if you want to work with a loop, you always have to have, it's always good to have an initializer, right? Let's say something like this: a is equal to 1, right? We're going to write a very simple code. So we'll now say while, see how this is the syntax for this now. While a is greater than 10, right? While a is greater than 10, always end with a colon. After the while statement, always end with a colon. While a is equal to 10, while a, or let's say while a is less than 10. While a is less than 10, right? After the while statement, always end with what? A colon, right? Hit enter. It will actually indent for you automatically, right? So we now want to say print right? Curly bracket. What is curly bracket? I'm trying to use the dot format. Okay, print this, right? Sorry. Print is less than 10. Dot format. It's the network that is messing up. Network that is messing up. Okay, so I want to print what I'm trying to say is that while A is less than 10, right? Print the values while this condition holds. I don't know if you understand me. While this condition holds, print that value, right? So when I do this, sorry, not the mistake here. I'm supposed to close this, right? Then we can now increment A. What I'm doing here, I'm increasing A. I'm increasing A, right? So let me just explain this block of code for you. It says A is equal to 1. As I say, you have to initialize it. Get an initializer. A is equal to 1, right? You now say while A is less than 10, print. Now I will explain this line. When you see something like this, right? Curly bracket is less than 10 dot format. What they call the dot format method. Instead of me writing print A, right? I wanted to say the value of A. What will happen here will now become the value of A. For example, now if it is 1, tell me 1 is less than A, right? So what this dot format does here now is that it picks the whatever value of A and tells me 1 is less than 10, 2 is less than 10, and it continues like that. So let's just run this. Yeah, that's what the dot format does. So it helps you format whatever is there. Let me run this. Can you see? You understand? So can you see? It automatically prints it for me. So now the line. Oh man. I will just have. We have a few more minutes. We don't have much time before the next class will start. So what this actually does is, Haruna Sanusi, hello to you too. Can you see us? I mean, can you see me? So what?
Give me a rundown.
Yeah?
Give me a rundown.
It gives you.
One is less than 10, 2 is less than
Okay, 1 is less than 10, 2 is less. So what that happens is that now, if you look at the first number we said was what? A is equal to 1, right? A is equal to 1. So we now said while A is less than 10, print this is less than 10 dot format. So that dot format A, it picks every value of A and put inside that curly bracket. You understand? So then A is equal to A plus 1. So what to do is that we to first pick the value of A, which the first value of A, which was what? 1. As I can see, the first statement here is 1 is less than what? 10. I put that. Let me change it to 10. 1 is less than 10, right? Then when it runs the print statement, when it runs this print statement finish, it now goes down and sees the second statement, and the second statement says A is equal to A plus 1. What is it telling you? Add 1 to A, which was 1 before. It now becomes 1 plus 1. It gives you 2. It will now check. It will now go back to the logic. Is A less than 10, right? That is the value. The new value is now 2. 2 is less than 10. So that means it can still run. So what it says that while A is less than 10, keep printing this. The moment it sees A is greater than 10, it will stop. You understand? The moment it sees A is greater than 10, it will what? It will stop. So that's that logic there. That's the logic there. Anything, sir?
We want to copy
The code.
Yes.
No, I will share this with you now. Or you want to just you want to copy it there on your computer.
I was following you.
Are you not on YouTube?
It's called
This thing is still showing.
It's hanging. Well, maybe you need to play.
Okay, yeah, I paused it. But if I play, my voice will.
Okay, fundamentals.
Yeah.
Okay. So, play. So here.
Okay. Hold on. Please just mute that one. Someone is playing. And this one has actually, because we have already gone far, so it's still there. So if I will share the whole notes I have here so that you can see that we cannot finish it. Now I'm saying I will share. And then also, something very small. When I was coming downstairs. Hello everybody, sorry. Now say while A is less than 10, print. Now I will explain this line. When you see something like this, right? Call it bracket is less than 10 dot format. What they call it dot format method. Instead of me writing print A, right? I want you to. I think this one you want to copy, right?
Yes.
So this is the code. This is the code. While this, while the that one I'm working with now, A is equal to 1, while A is less than 10, right? That's the condition. Print this is less than 10 plus format. So like I said, format A here, it picks the value of A at that instant, right? And it gives you the output. You understand? Give you the value of A at that instant, and it gives you the output.
So if you run the program, that's why.
If you run it, then it will give you all that. If I play this, initialize it. Get that initializer. A is equal to 4, right? Now say while A is less than 10, print. Now I will explain this line. When you see something like this, right? Curly bracket is less than 10 dot format. What they call the format method. Instead of me writing print A, right? I wanted to say the value of A. What will happen here now from the value of A? Now if it is 1, tell me 1 is less than A. Right? So what this dot format does here now, pick whatever value of A and tell me 1 is less than 10, 2 is less than 10, and it continues like that. So let's just run this. Yeah, that was the format. So it helps you format whatever is there. Let me run this. Can you see? Understand? So can you see? It's automatically printed for me. So now the line. I will just have. We have a few more minutes. We don't have much time before the next class will start. So what actually does is Aruna, Sanusi, hello to you too. Can you see us? Can you see me? So what? So now I don't know what we're going to do now. I can't project my screen again. Give me. Okay, one is less than 10. So what that happens with that? Now, the first number we get was what? A is equal to 1, right? Python. A is equal to 1. So we now say while A is less than 10, print this is less than 10 dot format. So that's the format A. It picks any value of A and puts inside that curly bracket. You understand? So then A is equal to A. We want to do that. We first pick the value of A. The first value of A which was what? 1. Now you can see the first statement here is 1 is less than 1. Did you put the column? 1 is less than 10, right? Then when it runs the print statement, when it runs this print statement, it now goes down and see the second statement. And the second statement says A is equal to A. What is telling you? add 1 to A, which was 1 before. Now it becomes 1 plus 1. It gives you 2. So now check. Now go back to the logic. Is A less than 10, right? That is the value. The new value is now 2. 2 is less than 10, so that means it can still run. But it says that while A is less than 10, keep printing this. The moment it sees A is greater than 10, you understand? The moment it sees A is greater than 10, it will what? It will stop. That's logic there. That's the logic there.
Doesn't have to change. Okay. Still works.
Everything, sir. The code. Oh, I will share this with you now. Or you want to just, okay, you want to copy it there on your phone. I know on YouTube. Yeah, I've seen my oil. I don't know. Should we? Because I don't know. I can't project my screen again. I'm calling today, and I've done quite a number of things today. I understand, because by 12, the next lecturer should come. Please just mute that one. Someone is playing.
Because we are not the only one actually.
Those one that actually see. Just people are not see. I don't want this screen to show. I want this screen, this specific one that I'm on to. It's not the one showing. Here's the screen I want.
Did you connect it?
It's connected. It's showing me that it's shared. Look at it, like that share. It says stop share.
It's sharing.
It's kind of saying it's sharing, but it's not. It's actually showing YouTube rather instead of.
Okay, stop it. Stop sharing and then make attempts at it again. Stop sharing. Stop sharing. Okay, let's restart it. BOQF XBTQ.
Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. I don't have any prayer. My prayer is that this should go faster, that we can hit somewhere.
It will come back.
Okay. But those online actually see me. It's not be added to the WhatsApp group. I don't know what to say about that. I'm not the one managing the WhatsApp group. Probably you can drop your number. And not if you're here, this lady Choma Abichima or guy is saying he has not been added to the WhatsApp group. Please let them. You can find a way. If you can find a way to get the person in the WhatsApp group.
This is you plug it there before. I saw they do my I have to buy a new one. This is a new one. That's Saturday. We're not Saturday now. We know. Oh, Thursday is fine.
Too many attempts, trying to 5 minutes.
Come back. 5 minutes. See you every day. You're open to everything.
No, it's good. You try around a lot of points to settle for one. No. So, see, I bought this thing yesterday. No, it's not for you. I bought it for my friends. And then I don't know this for iPhone. He has Samsung. But I just bought this for earphone. Only to discover it's for iPhone. And I can't use it. iPhone is not a This is for Type-C earpiece. I know, it's not. This is Type-C earpiece or earpiece. This is for Type-C. You know this thing. But I'm looking for. I thought I would have Type-C so that to buy it from me. No problem. No problem. Earpiece. I want to give it to some people I buy from. Say, come. That's answer. So anybody want to buy them now, so that I go fit. Like, because I promised them when I want to fit. Imagine, no, suppose they like this, why You know, that way they take light affect services. This is pure, not a I downloaded it, I have it before. Sorry, you can practice it. What is it? When you use I know that from scratch. You know, say that I'm waiting for Zoom when you have the anything is going to be complete. They want to be when towards you're going to do, whenever you want to save these things, you will see, you can save this page.
You have this one, you have this one.
No, instead it's difficult to do. Don't forget to give me the YouTube. Which one I will learn is the chat box to customize the chat box today. And then the deep learning. No, yes, the woman has taught online and also the GTA video training how to install it. Okay, we are here. As soon as I finish and it works, I'll send it straight to my this see my sites. See my site there.
Okay, we are back. So this other line of code I wrote it does the same thing, but the only thing that is different is how you increase. If you remember, if you look at this one here, I said a is equal to a plus 1, right? Here, a is equal to a plus 1, increasing a. Then if you look here, I said a is equal to a plus equal to 1. This is the same thing. It does the same thing. Increases a. It also increases a as well. Let's just create a small interface, at least before the time will elapse. Let's create a small interface. Right? Let's do this. Let's write a simple print statement. Oh, was at the beginning, right? It's double N now. It's what they call the input key, right? I'll show you what the input key does. It's supposed to be wall.
Wall.
Welcome to our wall. Okay, so I said I'm going to create a little interface, right? Look at what we're doing here. I said creating an interactive interface. I said print, the first line says print, this is the beginning of fun. Then name, input, enter your username here. Print, welcome to our world. This is another way of writing format instead of the dot format. You understand? F, welcome to our world name. So what it does is that it will go and capture the name you put in the input box and say, so and so person, welcome to our world, so and so person. Then password, input, enter your password here, right? Then can you see where the while statement comes in now? It now says while len password. I talked about len. when you say learn and you pass a variable, right? It gives you the length of what? That variable. Sure, again. So you say while len password is less than 8, print password must be at least 8 characters in length. It now tells you to input your password again, right? Enter password here, then continue, right? Else print your adventure. You can now begin. Let's run this code quickly. Let's see what it will show us. Can you see? The first one says what? Enter your username here, right? So maybe let me just put my name, SC, right? I hit enter. And now say enter your password here. Let me say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I know why I did that. I know why I did that. Can you see what does it say? Password must be. So this thing happens when we are on the website. We see it every day. That's why I just did this, right? So now it has told me that I entered 5 characters, but it's telling me that no, it didn't accept it. So now if I do 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, now what does it tell me? Let's go down. It now takes me now to what? You can now begin your what? Adventure. So that's how you create a little interface. That's why I say interactive.
Okay. Well, where do you put the case sensitive, alphanumeric?
No, I didn't put all those clauses here. I've not put all those clauses. Can with time we will train it. With time we'll work on that. I just wanted to show you how we can create a little interface using what? If you look at here, instead of we're talking about while, right? But I brought in something. I brought in the input statement here. So what that input statement, it will not give you an input box. So if I run this again, you see to give me an input box. This is the input box, as you can see. This box here is an input box. So you can now input your data. So whatever logic you want to create, whether you want to say it must be alphanumeric and case sensitive with special characters, you have to, the way you're going to do that now is in the while block of codes. Do you understand? Either use while, either use for. That's why I don't want to go into that because there are different types of loops. There is the while, there is the for. Do you understand? So which one are you going? We're just dealing with while now. So I just said while this is this. While and for have different syntaxes or how you want to play around them. They say there are cases whereby writing those block of codes is not just using while and for. Inside that while or for, you not embed logics using the if then else statement. You understand? For example, now if you want to do that, maybe you say while this is this. First of all, if you want to work with the length, you can say while length is less than 8. Flag it that is not correct, right? And now come and say if maybe a special character is not included in this password, flag it not correct. If it is not alphanumeric, flag it not correct. Then you now come and do the opposite and say, but if all these conditions are met, let it fly. You understand? It's not just a simple block of code, but we'll see all that. Understand? So right now we're in while loop, and at this point in time, this is where I will pause my class. I know you can make us go on the next class will come, right? And it's actually that chatbot that we did earlier. So I believe she'll be here any moment from now.
Okay. So let's copy this one now.
Please do.
From the beginning.
I don't want it too big. Okay, I think you can see this, right?
Near the beginning, yes.
Can you see?
Yes, we can.
I'm supposed to be somewhere. That's why. I'm not saying this here.
Mr. Edson,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to say,
You like to?
see you,
I'm here now.
and I want to talk to you.
We are seeing like.
Off camera.
Okay.
Off camera.
So please, those of you that are online, I think we have come to the end of this class. Sorry for the back and forth. Sometimes I don't know. They say computer made man mad. So that's what happened here. We've been trying to troubleshoot. But at least we have gotten to that point where we can see we have ended the class. So I'll try and get the links to the Google Classroom up by this weekend.
Do you want the portal or Google Classroom?
I'll upload it on anywhere.
The portal is more, I think.
I should put it on the portal, right?
The
All
Google
right.
Classroom, I think, is no longer.
Okay, no longer using that. All right. So I'll put it on the portal. For that data, we're still going to keep it for a while. So your assignment, okay, just like you said, go and see if you can bring all those special characters.
Don't worry, I'm trying.
So let's just try that and see. Let's see how we can bring in. I mean, you have various tools. You can use them. ChatGPT, DeepSeek, that the new DeepSeek that we have now that China created, that they say is more advanced than ChatGPT.
Which one?
There's a new AI, generative AI now. It's called DeepSeek. DeepSeek. I mean, it's been making a whole lot of waves in the coming this week. A lot of people say that it does more analysis better than ChatGPT. I tried it, and to me, let me not just judge from one experience, but I still think ChatGPT. Yeah, because what I do with ChatGPT, I can create a document on ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT to give me the Excel format or the Microsoft format. Let me download, right? So I tried that with DeepSeek. He told me that he cannot perform such analysis yet. You understand?
That construction, they're right.
No, this is practical. Monday, she took Monday, me, I took Wednesday. Then today is practical. She's supposed to take practical.
Maybe you have to explain to her.
No problem. I will see her. So, like I said, the DeepSeek didn't give me what I was looking for. But ChatGPT, is it like the way I put form attendance? Yes.
Okay, you know that it was added to the class, but at what point are you supposed to use this symbol?
That's why I say it's for formats. This statement here, right? Remember when I said I can write this statement in another way, right? I can write it like this. I'm coming. I can write it like this. I can write it like this. Um, do you understand? It's the same thing.
No, I'm not, I'm saying, what, you know that symbol has a name. When do you use it? We know symbol.
Well, just like we don't want to ask the question about square brackets and mount parentheses. Just okay, please. Please let him explain to you. So when do you use curly brackets?
You declare the name here using name. So this is the keyword, the variable. Instead of you putting the name, maybe let's say my name is Sadiq, you say name equals to Sadiq. So now you are getting the name from your user, right? Inside this text field. So this name is what we put here in that bracket. So whenever the user put his name, the system will attach this text with the name.
With the name.
Welcome to the world, Sadiq. Let's say if Sadiq is the name. So this name over here is a variable we declare that will store the name that user included in the text field. When the user included it will come in that curly braces. It will store the name there and display it. So that curly braces you see are used for declaring variables. You want to attach text with.
Can you see the output here now?
Okay.
It says what? Welcome to the world. Essence.
You see the name.
Welcome to the world. Essence.
Okay, he has a thing, you said it's used to define, declare variable.
No, not declare.
Not declare.
Declaring is the one you say that.
You're using a variable equal to.
So when calling the name, you want to display the name, right? So you won't be allowed to just carry this variable and insert it here. Okay, you have to use that curly brace. That means that you are calling it from somewhere.
From somewhere.
So the system will go through your code and search where names belong.
And
Find name
pick
and
it.
check where will I find the name inside this input. You go inside there, text field, collect the name, store it here, and come back here and display it.
To further answer your question, you say when else can we use curly brackets, right? That is one case. Another case is using dictionaries. That's another data type in Python, right? It's a key value mapping. How we explain, let me just quickly show you how we do that here. I can say DICT, right? Is equal to, it's a keyword, that's why it's showing green. I'll do like this, right? Let's say, for example, now I want to, let us say amount. I can do this. It's more like key value. I want to, what I'm thinking of something that I can use like okay, let's say I'm doing a shopping list. Let me use my shopping list, right? I say rice. Rice is 100, right? Come in. Let me put this. Rice is 100, right? Comma, maybe beans. Beans is 300. Let's just do this, right? So this is a dictionary. Are you with me? So if I see dict 1, can you see? It prints it for me. This is a dictionary. Key value mapping, not like I said. Key value. You understand? This is the key, this is the value. Right? Key value. So this is how you declare a dictionary in Python. So that is when you use that curly bracket thing, aside from when you're using the format. You understand? I think that was the question. I know. And I was trying to answer, but I wanted him to like clarify that part for you, which he did.
Okay, because we keep on saying it.
So you keep on saying it. We'll go to dictionaries, we'll go to all this, and that's all. So please, the absence of no question. DeepSeek, Shamsia Mohammed. Yeah, DeepSeek. I talked about DeepSeek. So Chima, please send your number to Ideas Project at Cosmopolitan. So with this, we come to the end of this class. I'll see you again next week.
We've not finished covering that.
Okay, it's not.